Chapter 12, Sisterly Bonds. The morning light filtered through the frost-covered windows of the gingerbread cottage bakery, casting a soft glow on the kitchen table where Holly and Juniper sat in uncomfortable silence. The sisters poked at their breakfast, the usually delicious peppermint pancakes tasting like cardboard in their mouths as they struggled to find words to bridge the years of distance between them. Holly cleared her throat, breaking the silence. "So, how do you like your pancakes?" Juniper looked up, a faint smile tugging at her lips. "They're good. Just like Mom used to make." The mention of their mother hung in the air, a bittersweet reminder of happier times and shared memories. Holly seized on it like a lifeline. "Remember how she used to shape them into snowflakes for us on winter mornings?" she asked, her voice soft with nostalgia. Juniper nodded, her eyes distant. "And she'd dust them with powdered sugar, telling us it was fairy dust that would make our wishes come true." For a moment, the awkwardness melted away, replaced by the warm glow of shared childhood memories. But then reality crashed back in, and the sisters found themselves once again at a loss for words. Finally, Holly pushed her plate away and stood up. "This is ridiculous," she declared. "We're sisters. We shouldn't be tiptoeing around each other like strangers. Come on, let's go for a walk." Juniper hesitated for a moment before nodding. "All right." "Where to?" "Everywhere," Holly said with a determined smile. "Let's revisit our childhood haunts. Maybe it'll help us remember who we used to be to each other." As they stepped out into the crisp winter air, Holly marveled at how different Mary Hollow looked without its eternal Christmas decorations. The town was beautiful in its natural winter state, with frost patterns adorning windows and icicles hanging from eaves like nature's own ornaments. Their first stop was Candy Cane Park, where they had spent countless hours playing as children. The candy cane-striped benches were now simple wooden structures, but the memories they held were just as sweet. "Remember the great snowball fight of '95? Juniper asked, a mischievous glint in her eye. Holly laughed. "How could I forget? You enchanted your snowballs to follow me around like homing missiles. And you retaliated by turning all the snow around me into cotton candy," Juniper countered, chuckling. "We were quite the magical duo back then." As they continued their walk, more memories surfaced. They passed by Frosty's ice cream parlor, now closed for the winter, and recalled how they used to sneak out on summer nights for midnight sundaes. They saw the old schoolhouse where they had learned the basics of holiday magic, giggling over shared recollections of spells gone humorously wrong. But it wasn't all laughter and good times. As they approached the outskirts of town, near the border of the Whispering Woods, a shadow seemed to fall over them both. "This is where I left," Juniper said quietly, stopping in her tracks. "The night I ran away." Holly felt a lump form in her throat. "Why, June? Why did you leave without saying goodbye?" Juniper was silent for a long moment, her eyes fixed on the dark line of trees in the distance. When she finally spoke, her voice was thick with emotion. "I was scared, Holly. Scared of the expectations, of the legacy we were supposed to live up to. Do you remember the day Mom and Dad told us about our family's history?" Holly nodded slowly. "They said we were descendants of one of Mary Hollow's founding families. That it was our duty to protect the town's magic." "Exactly," Juniper said. "But I had started to have doubts. I'd found old books in the library, books that hinted at a darker side to Mary Hollow's founding. And then, I started having visions." Holly's eyes widened. "Visions? Like the ones we've been having recently?" Juniper nodded. "Similar, yes. But back then, I didn't understand what they meant. I saw violence, betrayal, the binding of ancient spirits. It terrified me. I thought I was going crazy. So I ran. I thought if I got far enough away from Mary Hollow, the visions would stop." Holly felt a mix of emotions wash over her, sympathy for her sister's fear, hurt at being left behind, and a growing sense of unease about their family's true history. "Why didn't you tell me?" she asked softly. Juniper turned to her, tears glistening in her eyes. "I wanted to protect you, Holly. You were always so dedicated to Mary Hollow, so in love with its magic. I couldn't bear to shatter that for you." Holly reached out, taking her sister's hand. "Oh, June. We could have faced it together. All these years, I thought you left because you didn't care about us anymore." As the sisters embraced, tears flowing freely, a warm glow emanated from between them. They broke apart, startled, to find a small object hovering in the air before them. It was a locket, antique and ornate, with intricate engravings of holly and juniper leaves intertwined around its edge. As they watched, it opened of its own accord, revealing not a photograph but a swirling vortex of magical energy. "The family heirloom," Juniper breathed. "Mom and Dad always said it would reveal itself when the time was right." Holly reached out tentatively, her fingers brushing the cool metal. The moment she touched it, the world around them dissolved into a whirlwind of images and sensations. They saw their ancestors, powerful witches and wizards, standing alongside the other founders of Mary Hollow. They witnessed heated debates about the ethics of binding the winter spirits, saw the conflict in their forebears' eyes as they participated in the ritual that would change the course of magical history. But more than that, they felt the emotions behind these moments, the fear of an uncontrolled winter, the hope for a better future, the guilt and regret that came with their actions. They saw generations of their family grappling with the consequences of that fateful decision, trying to maintain the balance of magic in Mary Hollow while keeping its dark secrets hidden. As the visions faded and the sisters found themselves back in the present, they clung to each other, overwhelmed by what they had seen. "We carry such a weight," Holly said softly. "The sins of our ancestors, the responsibility to make things right." Juniper nodded, her face set with determination. "But we don't have to carry it alone anymore. We're stronger together, Holly. We always have been." As they talked, really talked, for the first time in years, Holly felt the walls between them crumbling. They shared their fears, their regrets, their hopes for the future. They laughed over old jokes and cried over lost time. And through it all, they felt their bond as sisters strengthening, reinforced by the shared weight of their family's legacy. The sun was setting by the time they made their way back to the gingerbread cottage bakery, their cheeks flushed with cold and renewed affection. The family heirloom hung around Holly's neck, a constant reminder of their shared destiny. "You know," Juniper said as they approached the bakery, "I think I'm finally ready to call Mary Hollow home again. If you'll have me, that is." Holly beamed, squeezing her sister's hand. "Always, June. There's always been a place for you here." As they entered the bakery, the warm glow of reconciliation was immediately chilled by the sight of Jack Frost pacing anxiously in the kitchen. His face was grave, frost spreading from his feet with each agitated step. "Holly, Juniper," he said, his voice tight with worry. "We have a problem." The sisters exchanged a concerned glance, their newfound unity about to be put to the test. Whatever challenge lay ahead, they would face it together, their bond stronger than ever. "What is it, Jack?" Holly asked, bracing herself for bad news. Jack's icy blue eyes met hers, filled with a mixture of concern and determination. "It's Frosty Iceheart. I've been observing some disturbing activities at his workshop. I think he might be involved in something dangerous." The warmth of their reconciliation gave way to a chill of apprehension. Holly felt Juniper's hand tighten in hers, a silent promise of support. "Tell us everything," Juniper said, her voice steady. As Jack began to explain, frost patterns swirled more rapidly beneath his feet, reflecting his agitation. The cozy kitchen of the gingerbread cottage bakery, usually a place of warmth and sweet aromas, now felt charged with tension and the promise of impending danger. As they leaned in to hear Jack's report, that they were about to uncover a betrayal that would shake Mary Hollow to its very foundations.